there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot that happened, especially yesterday.
Yes.
In the world of professional wrestling.
Yes.
My heart was a little broken. Not going to lie, because one of my favorites got canned.
It was quite.
If you know me, you know who it is, but we'll talk about it.
Yes. So today, when we do this live, we're going to do our standard Eyes Up Here episode. So sit back and relax, because this is a full-blown Eyes Up Here recording, but live on YouTube. And you get to sit in on this lovely recording session. And that list of WWE releases was long, not the longest that they've had. They've had a deeper list in the past, but that one was kind of a shocker. And the one, do you want to get into it now? Want to start with the news of the day, which was yesterday?
Yeah, let's just let me say hi to Michael and Jordy just came in. So yeah, we'll start with the WWE releases for September of 2023. You knew they were coming. Everybody had, they were bracing themselves, but some of these names quite shocked me. Some of them I never even heard of, to be honest with you, but some of them were shockers. So Spider-Man and Sea Loves Travel. Hello. All right. So I'm going to pull up the list here. I'm going to read the list. Here it is, full list of the WWE releases for September 21st, 2023. We have Mustafa Ali, Rick. Is it Boggs?
Boogs. Rick Boogs.
Okay.
Rick Boogs was like a kind of throwback, like rock and roll 80s guy. Jacked to the gills, but he played the guitar for Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance and was kind of like, oh, he's so funny because he's got a mustache.
I would have liked that, I'm sure. The disappointment that I feel for this guy is overwhelming. Dolph Ziggler, who was my favorite WWE superstar.
We'll come back to him.
What's that?
We will come back to him.
Yeah, we'll come back to him. Shelton Benjamin is on the list. Riddick Moss. Emma was released. Is it Alea? Is that how you say her name?
Was it Aaliyah?
Aaliyah. Elias. Top Dollar. Dana Brooks. Mace. Mansoor. Quincy Elliott. Shanky. Yolila Leone. Is that correct?
I don't know.
Dabba Kato,
yep.
Okay. Bryson Montana, Kevin Ventura Cortez, Daniel MacArthur, Alexis Gray, Brooklyn Barlow, Eichmann Giro. That is the list that I have in front of me right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 22 releases.
A lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. Not to mention there were some behind the scenes that were canned as well. So the one that I found to be shocking was Dolph Ziggler, because so on Twitter and Instagram we follow each other, so I see a lot of what he does, and he's been out there doing a lot of like promotion and extra things for WWE. And I'm, every time I see him, I'm like, oh, this guy's doing really well. I'm glad they're, using him for stuff. And then I see he got released.
Yeah.
And to me, like, he was the epitome of like what a WWE superstar is supposed to be. He's a hard worker. He's a good worker. He put people over. He looks the part. He can talk. He can work. He seems like he was a company man, doing all the extra stuff. And I don't know why they would want to release someone like that. It just boggles my mind, unless it was a mutual thing. I don't know if there were any talks between the two. I don't know if, he was in on the deal or if this came as a shock, but I was sad because I really like him.
Yeah.
Bummer.
This is, I believe this is not the second time he's been gone, but this is now the official release, obviously. But he had taken a sabbatical from the company, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and that's when his stand-up comedy really started to kind of take center stage for him, and people really saw outside of WWE what he could do, because we've already seen what he can do inside of WWE. But I think that this is going to be the shortest term departure of this group, because there's so much this guy can do for them in terms of training, in terms of mentoring, but he also has a lot to offer in other places as well. So
Mhm.
this is the one I think everybody's going to keep the eye on, because if anybody has had the, oh, he's been misused label in WWE over the last decade plus, it's Nick Nemeth.
Yeah.
And that's coming from fans and people inside the business, because he is a natural. And this guy is probably the best pure athlete and natural wrestling superstar I have ever seen on my television.
A lot of reports were saying they were using the same term, the next Shawn Michaels. That's what they were comparing him to, was Shawn Michaels. And I mean, maybe he could join his brother in AEW.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It would be different to see him in another promotion. He's been with WWE forever.
Yeah, his whole career.
So it would be really interesting to see him leave and do do other things in other promotions, but we'll see what happens. But that one, I was kind of sad about him. Yeah. I mean, look at that. Great graphic, by the way. But like Emma, like, were they even using her?
They brought Emma back for kind of a surprise return, and she stayed. Top Dollar here in the left corner, very controversial. Just higher, like the fact he stayed in the WWE because he was not very good in the ring.
No.
and was just trashed online. He's the guy that the clip of him stumbling over the top rope trying to do a plancha. If you remember from about a year ago, there was a heavily circulated clip from a SmackDown where he tripped over the top rope trying to do a tope suicida, I think it was. The gentleman on the right is Rick Boogs.
Yeah, I figured that with that singlet that he's wearing.
Yes. And then Dana Brooke up in the left, who's another one who kind of slid under the radar for a long time. Hadn't been used in a very long time.
She looks so different too. Her face looks so different from when she started. Have you noticed? Little tweak?
Yeah, maybe some
enhancements. I mean,
some changes.
She looks really good, but that looks like a totally different person to me.
But here's what I want to point out about that list. And this is not in any way, shape, or form disparaging the people who lost their jobs yesterday. So please don't take this the wrong way.
But
who the hell are any of those people outside of like the 5 names that we know? And that's not their fault.
NXT people?
Yeah, but that's not their fault. It's WWE's fault for this. And this is where I want to go with this point. Why are there so many people under contract?
Because they do that all the time.
But why? If you're hiring that many people and you're making all these ridiculously just absurd names for these folks, right? All those names that you read are these name generator names. I'll use the old South Park Family Guy name generator with the manatees hitting balls into nets, and that's how you come up with these dumb WWE names, right? Why do they have so many people under contract that these guys lose their jobs, and there's another 50 of these no-name wrestlers that are never going to make it to the main roster, that are just dumped, just like these folks are? For what reason? It's like they were hired for no reason.
Well, why do they hire people and then let them sit at home for months, sometimes a year, and just deliver a check to them and never use them? Why don't they can them? Why?
I don't know.
Because they just don't care, and they have the money to spend. Do these people slip under the radar that, oh, we forgot about them? We've been paying them. He's been sitting in. There was one guy who sat at him for like 3 years before he got released. I can't remember who it was.
JTG?
I don't remember who it was, but he was getting a paycheck every single week, and he was literally on the roster for years, and they didn't use him for anything. I don't know if he started off with an injury. This is going back years ago. And everybody was just like, I cannot believe that this guy just sat home forever, got a paycheck, didn't have to work, and got released years later. Was never used. Why is that?
You might be. JTG literally wrote a book called "Why Did I Answer My Phone?" He slipped under the radar.
Got a voicemail, dude.
for so long, right? But again, it's nothing against any of these guys and gals that lost their gigs. I mean, I feel bad for them, but in this day and age, they'll rebound. There's plenty of options out there if they choose to stick with sports entertainment.
Right.
But it's just the fact that this goes to show you, and this is another point I want to get to. Do you think this is Endeavor or TKO or whatever the hell the name of the new company is, trimming the fat and maybe accentuating the talent that is there now? Because maybe this was, okay, let's get rid of this dead weight and maybe take advantage of the people we have here and move forward, so we don't have to cut 20-something people the next time.
Well, I mean, maybe it's a different way of looking at the budget. You like we just said, there have been people that were under contract and not working and getting paid. Now it's new management. Are they going to stand for that? Are they going to pay people who they feel don't contribute to their product, or or sitting at home collecting a paycheck? Maybe they're putting the hammer down and they're just like, okay, this is our money now, and this is how we want to spend it. So we're going to get rid of certain people. When you say dead weight, I really don't agree with you, because there's a lot of people on that list who brought a lot to the table. So I don't agree with you that they're dead weight. There are some names that I never heard of because I'm not a WWE fan. I don't watch the product. So that's not a knock on the 22 people that got released. Although I do know that there's a handful of people I know, some of them I know personally, and I know they can work their asses off. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, why are they keeping so-and-so but getting rid of these guys?
But okay, let's go back to Dolph. Okay.
Yes.
Guys that I know that are still friends with Dolph from their time in WWE still say he still had the passion. He was still into it. He was still putting on great matches whenever they used him. Still the show off, all the great monikers he had. He still looked amazing. Right. And you've watched him, and like you said, you've been a fan of him.
Yes.
Let's see what does Queen of Extreme think about Dolph Ziggler? You were to be paired with a guy like Dolph Ziggler. I think we've even talked about.
I would have loved to work with Dolph Ziggler. Yeah.
How would your Queen of Extreme managing style mix with a guy like Dolph Ziggler, natural heel, can go babyface, but a natural heel? How would the Queen of Extreme character mix with a character like Dolph Ziggler?
I see traits of Shane in Dolph, like the heel persona. I can see like a little, not saying that Dolph is taking anything but Shane, but just the arrogance and the cockiness when he's a full-fledged heel. I can see that kind of thing in Ziggler, in his character. And if I was younger and still working, I think that would have been a great pairing, him and I together. Not that he would need a manager, but it certainly adds to the character.
Yeah.
So that would have been a lot of fun to work with him. But I've always enjoyed watching his work, and I just think that he is overall a well-balanced performer. He's very polished. He's been in the business quite a long time. You see his evolving from the cheerleader gimmick, which I loved that gimmick with the guys, by the way. I was a big fan of that cheerleader.
Yeah, no, it was great. Great heat magnet.
Yeah, I thought it was great. But to see where he is now and how much he's grown and how much he's actually done for that company. Like I said, I've seen him like promoting all different types of things under the WWE banner. And I just, when you see somebody like that doing so much, you just think, oh, they're in really good graces with the office. Like they're using them to promote and do things. And he was on live events and all this stuff. I did not expect him to be released. So that makes me think, was this something that he took part in? Or was it just like, oh my gosh, I got released? Like, did he know it was coming?
Yeah.
Because usually you don't know. It just hits you in the face. Like, boom, you get that call and you're just like, oh, thanks.
From what I know about him, again, talking to other people I've worked with and friends that I know, the crew that he associates himself with and the guys that he's friendly with backstage, I could see people who were, I'm using key little words here if you're catching my drift, that were in top positions, not gelling with him. But those people aren't in those positions anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised. I would think that a guy like him would stick around.